Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight's going to be a short stream for me. I just want to cover one subject, and I know that I say short, so it's probably only going to be 15 minutes. I don't even know if people are going to get in here. Go back and watch it from the beginning. I'm just going to jump right in. Please go subscribe to me at minds.com, BitChute, and also Telegram, SJG Perspective, and all those. Okay, what I wanted to quickly chat about is what's going on with this whole Iran deal. I know it's all over the news, and you guys know how I feel about the whole, war thing, and the neocons always pushing these neo war hawks always pushing for war on everything, and how Trump said he was going to get us out of war, and now we're knocking on the door with Iran. And I don't know if it's a bunch of bluster, and I don't know if we're just doing a whole bunch of posturing. It looks like that's kind of what we're doing, but it's really ridiculous, and it's really not cool us pushing this the way we are. And I really hope that President Trump doesn't listen to Michael Bolton and or John Bolton and Mike Pompeo, and doesn't listen to their counsel anymore on this kind of crap, because they love it. They've never seen a war they didn't like. So I'm going to read two articles. I'm going to start with the Fox one, then I'm going to read a CNN one, just to kind of see where they're agreeing, and how they're neither one is really against it. And actually, if anyone is, Fox is actually probably has a little more of like a robust take on this whole thing. But let's read this real quick. I am so sorry. I do that a lot. That's really my bad. Anyway, here we go. Trump says war will mean official end of Iran. Warns never threaten the United States again. Do we really think they're threatening us? I know we're going to read in this article how they shot there was a few missiles that were shot at the embassy in Iraq. Do we really think that Iran was behind that? That actually Iran, the government and officials and heads of Iran were behind that? Iran knows we will smoke them if we got in a war with them. Now they're going. The bad part is Russia would, if we attacked Iran, we'd get into it with Russia. We'd probably get into it with China. We'd get into it with a bunch of other people too. Syria would probably jump on board, because these are their allies. So it would escalate very quickly and very badly. It wouldn't end well for anybody. And I really don't think this is what Trump wants, but he's putting himself in a position where he's flexing we're flexing our diplomatic muscles here, and our war posturing muscles, and it's bad, because if even for nothing less than a miscalculation, if there's a miscalculation here, and somebody does something, we're screwed. But let's read why we sent our whole a huge armada over there. Let's read about the few little missiles that these alleged missiles that were on a cargo ship that they were going to use to attack us. It's I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but that's so ridiculous. Give me a break. You really think that that's what they're going to do? You really think that's what they're going to do? Sounds like we're just setting ourselves up for some sort of a false flag attack to happen, some miscalculation or a false flag that's going to set this whole thing off. And don't sit there and tell me I'm wearing my tinfoil hat and that false flags never happen. Go back to the Gulf of Tonkin. All right, go do some research on the Gulf of Tonkin and see what happened there that got us involved in Vietnam. But anyways, let's read about this. President Trump fired a social media broadside at the Iranian regime Sunday afternoon, vowing that war between Washington and Tehran would result in the official end of Iran, before warning never threaten the United States again. Trump tweeted hours after a rocket landed less than a mile from the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad's heavily fortified Green Zone, the first such attack since September. An Iraqi military spokesman told reporters the rocket appeared to have been fired from the East Baghdad, which is home to several Iran-backed Shiite militias. Okay, so we are to think that these Iran-backed Shiite militias got word from, the Ayatollah Khomeini, right, or the head of Iran, or some official capacity or some government official in Iran that said, shoot a rocket. Let's shoot some rockets at the U.S. Embassy. They're surrounding us with more firepower than God, and they're just itching. They hate us. They're itching to have a reason to do something to us. And so why don't we just take a dart and throw it at the bear, the sleeping bear, right? Let's just take a few darts and throw it at him. Does that make sense to you? Does that make logical common? Does that compute in your common sense, common sense meter in your brain? Do you think we would do that, or do you think they would do that? Not unless they were suicidal and absolute dumb shits. And I'm not giving them I'm not giving them high points on their necessarily on their IQ. But what I am saying is they don't want suicide. They truly nobody wants. Well, we say we don't want war. I have to wonder because of what we're doing in Venezuela, because of what we're doing, with China over in the South China Sea. I kind of got to wonder sometimes who's pulling the strings on these things and how come war is just so exciting to the swampy undercurrent of Washington, D.C., right? The powers that be, the shadow, whatever you want to call it, the deep state, the military industrial complex, whatever. Why do we like war so much? I just don't. I don't get it. And President Trump, so many patriots voted for you because you were going to get them out of war and you were going to keep us out of war. So please stay true to your word on this one. Stay true to your word on this one, and don't be flirting around getting us in a big old shit show over another shit show in the Middle East, please. Tension between the U.S. and Iran have risen in recent weeks after the Trump administration ordered warships and bombers to the Middle East earlier this month to counter threatened attacks against U.S. interests by Iran or Iranian-backed forces. The U.S. also ordered non-essential staff out of its diplomatic posts in Iraq days after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo visited Baghdad, told Iraqi intelligence that the United States had been picking up intelligence that Iran is threatening American interests in the Middle East. And we know that you didn't lie to us at all, Mr. Pompeo, about what was happening in Venezuela, right? We know that you didn't lie to us at all about that or tell us some bullshit that's going on down there. And we know that you're just telling us the truth. But again, you don't tell us what that intelligence is. Not specifics that would give anything up, but you don't have any pictures, you don't have any video. You're just picking up there's some buzz that we're under, that Iran is threatening American interests in the Middle East, because that isn't suicide for Iran. That makes a ton of sense. Two Iraqi officials told Associated Press that Pompeo had offered no details to the alleged threat, though. Go figure. Trump appeared to have softened his tone in recent days, saying he expects Iran to seek negotiations with his administration. Asked on Thursday if the U.S. might be on a path to war with Iran, the president answered, "I hope not." Now, I know why he answers this way and says these things, because he's trying to keep everybody guessing. And for that, I give him credit, because that's probably a better way than to come out and tell people what we're going to do before we do it, or, one way or another. But here's what I'm saying. I really hope you're not painting yourself into a corner there, because God knows your ego is not going to let you not go to war. If they do something and you've said, well, I hope they don't do this, because you will cross the red line just to save your freaking ego, which kind of scares me. That is one thing about him that kind of scares me. The U.S. Navy said Sunday it had conducted exercises in the Arabian Sea with the aircraft carrier strike group ordered to the region to counter the unspecified threat from Iran. The Navy said the exercises and training were conducted Friday and Saturday with the USS Abraham Lincoln Aircraft Carrier Strike Group in coordination with the U.S. Marine Corps, highlighting U.S. lethality and agility to respond to threat, as well as to deter conflict and preserve U.S. strategic interests, like the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. Abraham Lincoln has yet to reach the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf through which a third of all oil traded at sea passes. Again, oil is right in the vicinity when we're talking about going to war with somebody. Venezuela, a lot of oil in that vicinity. Iran, Strait of Hormuz, a lot of oil in that one. It's pretty interesting to me. I'm not saying that this one, that we're flexing our muscles all over the oil on this one, but it's in the ballpark. It's at play at some level. On the Iranian side, the head of the country's elite Revolutionary Guard, which I believe we just a month or so ago designated a terrorist organization. That's always nice and helpful. General Hossein Salami was quoted Sunday as saying Iran is not looking for war, but he said the U.S. is going to fail in the near future because they are frustrated and hopeless and are looking for a way out of the current escalation. His comments, given to the other Guard commanders, were carried by Iran's semi-official Fars news agency. Also Sunday, Saudi Arabia Minister of State for Foreign Affairs told reporters that the kingdom does not want war in the region and does not strive for that, but at the same time, wink, wink, nod, nod. If the other side chooses war, the kingdom will fight with this, or the kingdom will fight this with all force and determination, and it will defend itself, its citizens, and its interests. Abdallah al-Jabour, spoke a week after 4 oil tankers, 2 of them Saudi, were targeted in an alleged attack of sabotage off the coast of the United Arab Emirates, and days after Iran-allied Yemeni rebels claimed a drone attack on Saudi oil pipeline. The Saudis have blamed the pipeline attack on Iran, accusing Tehran of arming the rebel Houthis, with which a Saudi-led coalition has been at war in Yemen since 2015. We have been supporting, by the way, on this, Saudi Arabia, the terrible, freaking worst pieces of dog crap, Saudi Arabia, that talk about human rights violations. This is where you get me fired up, and it's really hard to just stay all rosy peachy about every conservative values on these kind of things, or supporting Trump, is when it comes to war, and it comes to this isn't just conservative or Trump, it's any of the presidents, all of them, nonpartisan, it's left and right. Our relationship with Saudi Arabia is zero. It is completely ridiculous and hypocritical. It is only because of our relationship with them, because of oil and because of the petrodollar. That's it. That's why they're our allies over there. Not because they're good people. Not because they treat their people well. Not because they have a great human rights track record. They are horrible, horrendous, terrible, disgusting human rights track record. And whatever happened to old Jamal Khashoggi, man, the whole thing with that, where they chopped him up into little bits and pieces, and those orders came out of somewhere around the Crown Prince. He has some plausible deniability that he didn't exactly order it, wink wink nod nod, but that all just kind of poof into the atmosphere, right? Nobody's talking about that anymore. An old Saudi or citizen that left Saudi Arabia and was a green card holder here in the U.S., was over in Turkey, gets called into the Saudi Arabian consulate or embassy, and gets never seen of again, and was officially, they found out, was chopped up into little pieces. Anyways, Saudi Arabia, they suck. So it says the Saudis have blamed the pipeline attack on Iran, accusing Tehran of arming the Houthi rebels who've been at the war since 2015. Iran denies arming or training the rebels who control much of the northern Yemen, including the capital of Sana'a. We want peace and stability in the region, but we won't stand with our hands bound as Iranians continuously attack. Iran has to understand that, Al-Jababa said. The ball is in Iran's court. They just continually attack, with America surrounding them, and Saudi Arabia also looking for a real reason to get us on board and to just do something to them. And they continually attack, and we're just being we're showing so much restraint, right? No, they just haven't given us any clear-cut reason that we can absolutely prove to go and wipe them off the face of the map. Saudi Arabia's King Salman, meanwhile, has called for a meeting of Arab heads of state on May 30th in Mecca to discuss the latest developments, including the oil pipeline attack. The state-run Saudi news agency reported Sunday that the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the guy who was involved in the Khashoggi murder or knew about it, to discuss regional developments. There was no immediate statement by the State Department about the call. Of course there wasn't. An English-language Saudi newspaper close to the palace recently published an editorial calling for surgical U.S. airstrikes in retaliation for Iran's alleged involvement in targeting Saudi Arabia's oil infrastructure. So Saudi Arabia is hitting us up to do some surgical strikes on Iran, who they're accusing of doing these attacks on their oil pipeline, which Iran is denying that they're doing. And Saudi Arabia, who uses us, they don't give a crap about us, but who pretends like they're our buddies, they're using us and asking us to flex our muscles and do some surgical strikes against Iran. Do it your own damn self. If that's what you want to do, Saudi Arabia. God knows you got the war, or you got the firepower to do it. Do your own damn strikes. Don't call us to take care of your dirty work. The current tensions are rooted in Trump's decision last year to withdraw the U.S. from the 2015 nuclear accord between Iran and the world powers and impose wide-reaching sanctions. Sanctions were all over Venezuela too, including on Iranian oil exports that are crucial to its economy. Iran has said it would resume enriching uranium at higher levels if a new nuclear deal is not reached by July 7th. That would potentially bring it closer to being able to develop a nuclear weapon, something Iran insists it has never sought, which I don't believe. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they want one. Here's the thing, though. Again, why would Iran do this when we're surrounding them, when we have an armada of aircraft carriers and gunboats, and we have Saudi Arabia behind us wanting to go to war with them, and we're surrounding them, right? Why would they do anything to really escalate this, or to really do something to just kind of poke the bear, throw a dart at us, but pee a little asparagus piss all over us? I say asparagus piss because it smells terrible. You know what I mean? Just really do something to annoy us. It doesn't make sense to me. It seems like we are kind of doing the thing that to them. We're giving them a reason. We're putting everything out there so that there maybe is a miscalculation. And as soon as there's a miscalculation, we're going to be on it. I think this is ridiculous. I think it's dangerous, and I don't think we should be doing it. And I hope President Bush, not President Bush, he's not involved in this administration. What I meant to say was President Trump will, really stay true. President Trump, stay true to your campaign promises that you said you don't want to get us in wars. You want to get us out of them. Don't get us in war with Iran. This will just piss off a lot of patriots and a lot of people that, and non-patriot, and the left too. Well, sometimes the left. It seems like the Democrats now are more, they're just almost as war hawkish anymore. A lot of good people that voted for you are not going to be happy if you do this. And this is a big freaking deal, so don't do it. If you agree, please share this video. Please like this video. Please leave a comment. I know I'm going at him a little hard, and that's going to piss off some of my audience. I'm sorry, but this is a hot button issue with me. It is in Venezuela. It is in Iran, and it's something I don't want to see us get involved in. I appreciate your guys' support. Please follow me on Minds. I said this was going to be a small stream, short stream. Basically, it's just a way to get a video up without having to do a whole bunch of editing. So I'm just going to take it the way it is. If I made a few little faux pas in here, then whatever. Anyways, until next time, it is SJG Perspective without fear or animus. Please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye.